Welcome back, NSA Bulls podcast. New week. How y'all feeling today?
Feeling good, man. All things considered on the Bulls, feeling all right.
All right, how you feeling today, Austin?
Always feeling good. The Bulls, man, got a lot to talk about, but I mean, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
How you feeling though?
I'm good. I mean, I'm I'm doing all right personally, but looking at these Bulls it's been tough, but that's what we talk about. As y'all already know, we talk about the NBA, well, the Bulls obviously primarily the NBA, and all topics worth discussing. The Chicago Bulls right now, last time we had a conversation, we asked each other, like, okay, where are they going to finish at the end of the week, right? I think I might have the closest prediction. I think I say a 1-2, right? So they won one game, lost the last two.
That is the prediction.
Yeah.
So you was spot on.
So I was spot on.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Sure.
I mean, they not looking too good out there. We already know that. They got torched by Devin Booker.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got, outplayed. I feel like they could have won the game against the Warriors. But what was y'all takes on these last three games, these stretches, and what you've seen?
Well, the Warriors game, they could have won that game, even though they were playing from behind most of the game. At the end, they still had a chance to win. What stands out was, I guess, kind of defense. Again, lost in the sauce. Warriors moving the ball. And Draymond Green ended up hitting that critical three, to pretty much just close out the game. So, tough loss. The other games, I mean, blowout games. So, obviously it's not good. Just,
Yeah. And I mean, I felt like the Warriors game was a game I expected them to lose, unfortunately. But I just thought it was still a winnable game, like you said. I mean, the Warriors did what the Warriors do when they're at home. I mean, they get into the swing of their team. I mean, they started off struggling, but now they're like getting back into that championship DNA type of team. So, and the Bulls right now are just trying to struggle with like who they are. I didn't like how DeRozan was struggling a lot in that game. He had like 5 points in the third quarter. Now, he ended up finishing the game with like 16 or something like that. That's usually like below his averages. But, I just felt like this kind of team, you gotta play at a high level. Obviously, like DeRozan typically does for us, but, that was a little uncharacteristic for him. Also, what did you see?
Man, I saw the Bulls just not it, man. I know we talked about last week. They was getting it together. They played good. They went 2-1 in 3 games. This week they went 2-1, but it's a different type. Like, I just see that they not looking like a good team. And I'm just being honest, man. Like, I'm not impressed by their team. I don't know what it is. It can be coaching, it can be the players, but something's not clicking. And I'm just keeping it real. Like, this is not a good team.
No, it certainly isn't right now. And I just hope that we can make a turn. Currently right now, they're 12th in the Eastern Conference right now. This is terrible. This is not what we expected. We knew they would have their struggles throughout the season. And it just seems like they're struggling with their identity of who they are. And they're struggling with consistency. I think Billy Donovan said we are consistent in being inconsistent. So that's a valid point. Yeah, I heard him say something about that, in terms of it was like earlier in the season or a few games back, actually. But I think that's a valid point. Now, the blame, in my point of view, could go all over. I feel like Donovan's rotations are not necessarily the greatest. I feel like Billy Vooch, he shoots too many threes. It's like every game is a little different in terms of their mindset. It feels like it should just be consistent on whoever they're playing. They should be playing at a high level. And then they give you these moments where they know they can do it, but they just don't put it all together for all 48 minutes. And that's the issue right now. And some of these teams are like shaking off the cobwebs, and the Bulls are still like in this like days where they don't know what they're doing, or they don't have like that assertiveness, so.
Because you can kind of see the conferences kind of blending together, settling rather. and teams like even the Nets been be able to pick it up. They've been picking it up recently. The 76ers. So you're seeing these teams kind of get in playoff position, and then you see the Bulls down there at the 12th seed.
Exactly. It's just not.
Yeah, everyone else is catching their stride. Like they getting into a rhythm. Kyrie is playing phenomenal.
Ben Simmons
is I think he's hurt though. He's been out like the past couple games, but even him, he's still playing good. Like once he comes back, that's gonna be scary. But for the Bulls, like they just not impressing me, and I'm gonna be tough on them today because it's hard to watch. It's frustrating to watch. Like, what are y'all doing? Like, y'all got all this talent.
They got a lot of talent, man. They got a lot of talent, and it boggles my mind that they just can't put it together. Like, we've seen them be down in games by 15, 16 points, and then they'll fight to make it a game. And I'm like, okay, that energy, that spurt is what you needed the whole game. And they just, you can't afford to go back, be down by this many points against like these elite teams, Golden State and, Phoenix. If we got our asses handed to us by Phoenix, it's kind of like the team is reactive. Like they have the ability to compete and be like, play with anybody. But it's like, okay, they wait to see how the other team is going to play against them. And then later in the game, they make adjustments. But it's too late at that point. Valid
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, and that makes me think, like, it's coaching. Like, you should be able to, like, come out and have a more dominant game plan against the team you going against.
Yeah,
you should know your personnel.
Yeah. Now, these are little things, too. I agree with what you just said, but I also feel like who in the locker room is checking somebody? Like, I feel like everybody, somebody has to have, like, that grit where it's like, dude, like, what the fuck is that about?
That leadership.
Like, yeah. So that needs to happen, and I mean, everybody should hold themselves accountable, but in all sports, there's always that one person or several that you got in that locker room that just like,
they can at least listen to
that would say that.
The commentator, what's his name?
Stacey King.
They can at least listen to him.
Stacey King, man.
He be calling it out.
He's definitely a leader.
He be calling it out.
Speaking of Stacey King, I hear what he says a lot too. He'll say like they don't help the helper. Yeah. And he's absolutely right. Like there'll be times at IO, or like you blow past a first man, let's say Zach LaVine, right? Let's use him as an example because, he's saying his defense ain't been the greatest either anyway. But like, you blow past Zach LaVine, right? But then that second help won't come over to rotate over. They won't leave their man for that. So it's a lot of that going on. And it just seems like it's always like easy to get buckets. I mean, I'm pretty sure Devin Booker felt that way. That's why he dropped 51 points on us.
There you go. Like 51 points. And let's talk about like the leadership of the Bulls. Like just go through the roster. Who the fuck is gonna be the leader on the Bulls?
I mean,
it's not gonna be LaVine. DeRozan seemed like he just too cool. Like, what I'm saying? Like Vucevic is like is in the best position to be the leader, but he
probably
don't
not
seem
vocal.
Yeah, he don't seem like a vocal person.
It's gonna be the leadership gonna be coming from Caruso or somebody like that.
Yeah, and I mean like anybody can assume leadership. It doesn't always have to be the talented person.
Yeah,
but it's like you got to be able to raise your game up with that. That's why I get annoyed because we got guys. I mean, you even see Kerr trying to recruit Caruso at this point. At the end of the game, he was like, "Man, I would love to have you on my team."
Who said that?
Steve Kerr said that.
Oh wow.
So it's like that's not a good look.
No, it seems like Caruso like leads by example. Like he's still a leader, but he's like more of the Steph Curry type leader, right? He's gonna always be on time. This is just me, like just making assumptions. I don't know, but it seems like DeRozan he has that persona. It just seems like he's just introverted.
Yeah,
does that make sense? Like he's
it.
Not vocal. Like
I think that's also what played a part.
Unless you push him type shit.
It just seems like he's gonna go out there and just try to get buckets, and he's gonna just try to prove it in that way.
Right.
I don't know.
That might be a reason why. Like I feel like it was terrible how people were saying that like he the worst pick for like before we picked him up for that season. Right. That was clearly wrong. But I feel like that energy is because of that. They know, like, he's already been known around the league for years as being a guy that can score and put the ball in the basket. It's just the fact that he's not an intangible guy.
But this is Chicago. Like, look who Jordan is. Like, that's like a true leader. You know what I'm saying? Like Jordan, he wasn't about all that bullshit.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like that's what I'm sorry to say, like that's what the Bulls like. That's the only way. I feel like that's the only way the Bulls can be successful. They need a dominant leader. They need a dominant first option. That's the focal leader of the team.
Yeah,
that's the genetic makeup of
not
the
just
Bulls.
a guy that's talented.
Right.
They need a guy that has that level of grit. Like there's guys even that weren't that talented in Bulls franchise history that had that grit. Noah was like that. Noah was like that. Noah was a guy you could tell. Like you look at him like, dude, he would probably curse you out in the locker room. Like,
right,
get your shit together now. Like, what the fuck was that about? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know that if a guy's gonna hold you accountable in the locker room or call you out in front of the team,
right?
Then I know I might I don't want to deal with that. So
yeah,
the best way I don't want to deal with that is I'm gonna play my A level every time. So you put that blame on somebody else.
Yeah,
that's how they.
It don't seem like anybody's really doing the calling out in that locker room.
Yeah,
just like from the outside looking in. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, see, these are the things that don't come on the stat sheet that are extremely important. The Patrick Beverleys, the Draymond Greens of the world for today's era. But, championship or elite teams always have that edgy player that has that ability to just say, Kevin Garnett, same thing. You need a guy that, like, knows at the end of the day, like, you're going to have to talk to him. Like, that's
cool. They a cool group of guys, but damn, come on, man, y'all playing like shit.
Yeah, they killing me out here, man.
Maybe Goran Dragic can be that type of guy, that vocal, but he shouldn't have to do it though.
He shouldn't have to because he'll get beat up. You gotta just keep it a buck. Like this is an NBA team. Like these are grown men, professional athletes. Like if ain't no skirmishes happening like behind closed doors and everybody buddy, like. Can you really be a championship team?
We need our coach to be like calling out DeMar DeRozan to be more of a leader for the team, and then DeMar DeRozan really doing that, and like him, if he could step it up in like different type of aspects, I think the team could follow suit. Because right now you got like young guys that really shouldn't be having to be the voice, like Ayo or Io. Yeah. You can tell that he kind of got it in him, but it's like he's only a second-year player,
right?
Like they're not gonna really be listening to him like that.
That's why it's very imperative people like DeRozan take that leadership role because you've been in the league over 10 years. Even for Levine been in the league 9 years now.
Yeah.
So you got 9. These aren't guys that's just got in the league. Right. Like these guys that been in the league know how the NBA life is. Right. They know exactly like how to manage themselves, and it's like we just need a little bit more edginess from y'all. In order to kind of like win these games. And
maybe DeMar is just not like a number one guy in a way, in a sense. Because it's like you expect your number one guy to kind of like lead your team. Like that leader role that we're talking about. And like he's lacking in that, obviously. So
yeah. Now I'm also hearing about Patrick Williams right now. They're saying that they benched him. You heard about that? They're saying that Patrick Williams might be taken out of the starting lineup. I don't know how true that is.
Because they started Caruso, didn't they?
Yeah. So I think they started Caruso in the Golden State Warriors game, and I didn't see Patrick Williams out there. So,
but he played. He still got minutes.
Yeah. They might have did that strictly for like the matchup.
Yeah, even if they didn't do it for the matchup, you can't really complain for that move. Mm-hmm. Patrick Williams, he's been a little spotty, a little better, but. You know what you're going to get out of Caruso. So maybe they're just still trying to work out some things, kind of get like to a better system.
Yeah, that's possible. Do y'all think that the Bulls are a playoff team
right now?
I know they having their woes right now, but
no, not right now. But we're hoping that they will be. So I asked the question: will they be? What's going to take for them to get there to that playoff type team? And we can discuss that because it's probably a lot of things.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot to come into that. Yeah. I know I'm jumping a little bit, but all over the place. But looking at the rest of the Eastern Conference, right? The Miami Heat just beat the Boston Celtics. They've been struggling a little bit, but they're right outside that playoff seeding right now. They are currently in the 9th seed. So this is what I'm talking about. Like the teams that you expect to be there are starting to make their stride. like what Austin said. And the Bulls just are just not waking up. Like, and you're waiting. We're like, when are you gonna wake up?
It's like it's hard. It's hard for them to wake up. That's the thing. Like, they're probably woke, but it's just difficult.
They're a little lethargic over there. They just slow to.
They're just difficult right now for them.
Yeah. It's tough, man. It's tough.
And then even like what happened, like from last year to this year, like was Lonzo Ball really that critical to the team in the beginning?
I don't know. I think so. I mean, I really do think so.
I think so too.
I think I
agree with that.
His defensive presence on just like the stuff you don't really see when you watching basketball. He's a good basketball player,
team player.
Yeah, like he's able to get people involved. He's able to push the break. He's able to make passes that other people, like Caruso probably can't make, or Ayo can't make. Like,
he's another defender out there.
Yeah,
he's another elite defender.
And then he's a leader. He's pretty much a leader out there in a way, right?
He got cachet, basically. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the biggest differences from last year. And then obviously, I mean, who knows? Maybe some of the pieces we lost had a big impact on the locker room. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I also think too, I'll allude to the fact that the Eastern Conference got better. The conference
Cavaliers with Donovan Mitchell.
Even the Pacers right now.
Yeah. My thing is the Bulls just, they take games off like they've been here before. Like they have a lot of success like in previous years, and they don't. Not with this current team, they don't.
Right.
They just got together last year. They need to still have that energy about them, like we got something to prove, but they play like they don't. That's the issue. They play like, we'll stay around the game and we'll figure out a way. We gonna close in and we gonna like. That's how they play. They don't play with. I have to make this. This is a statement game for us. We have to. A to point Z. We have to be on high alert. They don't play like that all 48 minutes, and that's their issue right now. So we're just trying to remain hopeful and figure out when can they turn that corner. But when you can beat top teams, but then you can't beat the teams you need to beat, that's an issue for me.
I mean, right. they better. I can confidently say they better than the Knicks. They better than the Wizards. They better than the Raptors. Even the Hawks. They're
are they better than the Raptors?
I think so. I mean,
are they better than the Hawks?
They don't have better coaching.
They should be better.
They don't have better coaching. The coach is a better coach than our coach.
Yeah. They should be better on paper. You know what I'm saying? But
on paper, they should be 4th seed, right?
I think on paper 4th or 5th.
6, around 6. Like on paper, the Nets should be up in top 3.
On paper, they should be where the Hawks are. On paper.
Yeah, but it's still close. I mean, they're not that many games back. You know what I'm saying? Like the Hawks only got 13 wins. How many wins Bulls got? 11.
Like 9 wins.
9 wins.
Yeah, Bulls are like 9 and 12 right now. It just sound terrible.
9 and 13 to be
9
exact.
And 13. It just sound bad. Yeah. So it just
come on, man.
They got a lot of work to do, and they can't be waiting until 30, 40 games in the season to try to figure it out. Like, every game is meaningful. As of right now, when this podcast is getting shot, they got the Sacramento Kings tonight at 5 o'clock on the road. Sacramento's been playing pretty well.
Yep.
Kevin Huerter has been shooting the lights out.
Mm-hmm.
And De'Aaron Fox has been busting ass too. So we just got to find a way to take these games serious. Every night somebody can give you buckets. So you need to go ahead and lock in.
I want to talk about Zach LaVine. How y'all think Zach LaVine is doing? Do you think he's like playing at his fullest potential?
Absolutely not.
Or do you think he's still like injured? It's hard to say if he's out there. You know what I'm saying?
I don't like that excuse, the injury excuse.
Yeah, see,
I'm not with that.
I'm
not with the injury excuse. You're making a lot of money, and if you're making a lot of money, you can spend a lot of money on your body. It's proven. That's what LeBron's done. $1 million. You know what I mean? You can take $1 million out that 200 and whatever 13. So that's out the window, man. It's all about the mindset now.
Yeah. Yeah, my thing with Zach LaVine is that he just not. Can you imagine if Zach LaVine had Patrick Beverley mindset with that talent?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
He would be a monster.
Averaging 20 points.
He don't like. I'm gonna give my wife credit for this one. She said he don't play like he can go back to the hood if he don't play. Like he don't play with that edginess. Like if this don't work out, I'm gonna be back in the hood. Like you see what I'm saying? Like he don't play with that edginess that Chicago people are known to see. Like blue collar edginess. He play too cool. That's his problem. Like he plays way too cool. He plays like, oh, it's just another play. I'll get the next play.
I always talk about him.
He jogs back on defense.
He takes bad shots.
Cool.
Take bad shots. Real bad shots. Me, too cool shots.
He too cool. And then when he finally want to get a service, when like he know he getting his ass bust. Like Devin Booker was putting it on his ass. And then next thing you know,
people are look at his ass like I'm gonna torch this.
He's torching him.
Torch this dude.
Now you want to get in a defensive position. No, it's too late. It's too late because like he's a scorer. Devin Booker's a scorer. When that ball goes in, as many times it did, like he's in rhythm now, and it's like a snowball at that point. Like guys like that, which the league has always had a plethora of them. You got to start early on them. You can't. And you know what? The first like 4 or 5 minutes of the first quarter, they was playing good defense on Devin Booker. But I mean, he got a hot night. He been killing. We're gonna talk about him later in this podcast. But he been killing this whole week. But it's just 51 points in 3 quarters. Damn. Like that's what I said. Damn. Like they need to take pride defensively because in this league, everybody can get 20 plus points. In this league, people are putting 20 plus points like nothing. So you need to take a pride on, all right, I have to stop this dude. Not, I got to trade baskets with him. That's my issue with the Bulls right now. Like Zach LaVine and DeRozan, like these guys, like most nights your scoring should be good enough, right? But there are some nights it's not going to be good enough. And you need to tap in defensively. And you need to be able to say, look, like I'm not having a good shooting night, but I ain't going to let this dude have a good shooting night either. And that's what it has to be. It has to be that pride of it.
Yeah, this ain't football where you just play offense or defense. Like you got to be able to play both at a high level. And he's just playing at a good enough level type.
Right. Or like not trying to defend so tight to where you get in foul trouble. So you worry about these little instances like that. So you just let the guy get a layup.
He play too afraid. Like he play like he too afraid to get like dunked on and crossed over. Like you can't be afraid to get crossed or get dunked on. You got to be able to go for it. And players like that, like I think of Giannis. Like Giannis don't care. Like he's gonna play his hardest.
And you know what's crazy? Let's talk about that for a brief moment. When you brought up the Giannis point, his energy trickles down to the whole team. All of them, the Grayson Allens of the world, all of them, the Drew Holidays.
He's like the ultimate leader.
They all play like that. They all play like, look, we still gonna give it our all. So even when you are winning the game, you always feel like they gonna keep coming. They're never discouraged. They always keep pushing. It's like the clock gotta really be 0 in order for you to know you won. Like because they really keep pushing, but that's because he starts that energy. He's like, we gotta win. We can still win this game, guys. We can still win this game. Well, when I see the Bulls, when they like getting beat, they just have this thing like, this might not be our night. Right. They have that energy with them, and just hope that they could turn a corner with that.
What it boiled down to is like, if you Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan or even Vucevic, you can't have like less than 10 field goal makes. I'll just put like DeRozan and Zach LaVine. Like you gotta have at least 10 field goal makes a game. Yeah. And the rest come with free throws. Like 20 points a game plus free throws puts you at like 26, 20, like almost 30 points a game. Like, come on. Like Devin Booker had like 20 field goal makes in that game. And LaVine had like 8. Like, come on, bro. Like, put the ball in the basket. Like,
do your job.
If you're not gonna play defense, put the ball in the basket.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's my issue with them too. If you're not gonna play defense elite, that means your energy should be restored on the offensive end, which also means your numbers offensively better be gaudy. It better be like, yeah, my defense was ass, but I did put up 40. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's still not a good thing, but it's like at least you can justify it a little bit more, right? Like, all right, that's my issue with, Zach LaVine. It's like, all right, guys are playing defense for you. Or guys are like trying their best defensively, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I see instances where Zach would like, cut a man off on the baseline and, but most of the time, like the defense isn't where it needs to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then he ain't giving you the offensive production like that either.
Right.
So it's like, all right, like, so what am I getting right now? Like,
getting an average
he's
player.
not putting up a lot of like 30 plus balls, and like he's not doing that right now currently.
Right.
With this many games in the season, he's not doing that right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's having some games we look good, 25 or 24 or 28, you know, but it ain't like, all right, 40. I put up 40 tonight, you know, and I know it's not as easy as I make it seem because these are all pros they going against.
Yep.
But that's an expectation when you are a max player for a key franchise. So that's how I look at it. So now we're going to like take our topic and kind of like switch it around a little bit as we always say on our podcast and, you know, throughout all our episodes is that we have a segment where we like to talk about all things that's worth discussing.
Yep.
In this particular situation, Floyd Mayweather, TBE.
Big money.
I'm buying an NBA team outright. One of my other business partners, Brent Johnson, he's here. So we've been working on the NBA team for a while now. You know, it's rough. Vegas? It could be the Vegas franchise. It could be the Seattle franchise. Yeah. Or I could be buying a franchise that's already up and running. Gotcha. So the first offer, we offered them a little bit over $2 billion for majority ownership. Do I have it? Absolutely, I have it. But what happened for that? Of course, are you kidding me? But it didn't happen. It didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen overnight. It's a lot. It's a lot when you have so many different businesses all around the world. Actually,
Floyd Money Mayweather is in speculative. It's speculative right now. Well, I don't know if it's speculative, but he is trying to buy an NBA team.
Right.
Have y'all? I mean, I know y'all heard about it, but what do you think can happen with that? I mean, what's the details that you found out about that?
If he was I think he's trying to be like a majority owner. If that happens, you know, it'd be cool. You know, hopefully he can be better than Mike.
Right.
But I don't know what type of team you think. I think guys would want to come to his team.
I think so too. I mean, he's one of the best boxers ever.
Yeah.
And he's got a very very charismatic personality.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot of people that he is friends with.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, think about it. And he's black. I mean, the league is predominantly black. So I mean, you think about it, you got a lot of players who would love to play for an owner because they're rarely not in that situation. The only owner, like we just alluded to, that is African American is Michael Jordan.
Right.
You know, everyone else is other ethnicities, which isn't a problem.
Right.
But the thing is like, you know, you think about it, there's the strong case that like if you were to get an NBA team, a lot of other players in the league might want to go there. But the teams that he's trying to go for, possibly, I think he got a video out being interviewed about this. But
so I think he didn't mention the team that he offered $2 billion. He offered some organization $2 billion. He didn't say what team it was, but he did mention that Vegas or Seattle might be getting, you know, Seattle might be getting the organization again, and Vegas might be getting one to this period. And he was talking about that. So if that happened, you know, that would be really cool.
I mean, with him being a boxer, of course, and a lot of his fights being in Vegas, I think that would be a great fit.
that's a good correlation. I didn't even think like that at the time until you said that. So, and
then also he's from Grand Rapids, Michigan, so Detroit Pistons will be, of course, a nice fit. So I mean, at the end of the day, this is more so on the business side. So I don't think it has a lot to do with how well the team performs, but it would be good to see one of those faces as an owner, other than MJ.
I think they'll probably let him in too, because we're at a time right now. The NBA is like more entertaining than it's probably ever been. Just entertainment purposes. Mm-hmm. Even like the Bulls, for example, like right now, I'm pretty sure the ownership, they're having good games. Like these games are close games, they're entertaining games. So it's probably like you can go either way. Like, yeah, we can get better, or we could just ride the wave. So if they let Mayweather in the NBA, it'd be a good opportunity just for the NBA to make more money. And it'd be definitely interesting, you know.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it's Floyd Mayweather. I mean, he's one of the most popular people in the sports world in the last 25 years. So, yeah, I think that will actually be a good idea. It would be nice to see Seattle get a team again.
Yeah.
Las Vegas, they've been talking about that for at least 10 years now.
Yeah. I know the women's WNBA have a team in Vegas.
Yeah.
So that NBA might get one.
I mean, if they got a team, it's easy. It's very possible.
Yeah.
Mans will get a team as well, too. The NBA in general will. But, yeah, I mean, that's just good to see, good to know about. And, we'll keep talking about that as it progresses through. But let's kind of like switch it up a little bit. Let's go back to the NBA for a quick second here. Which NBA teams that, you see right now in the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, which NBA teams should we all be paying attention to at this point?
Also, you want to start? Or, I mean...
We talking about the Western Conference or Eastern Conference?
Just in general, like, when you look at like around the league, which NBA teams would you think we should be paying attention to?
I think for sure the Cavaliers. Cavaliers with the addition of Donovan Mitchell and with them being in the third seed, that's definitely a team you should. And they 15-8, like they win a lot of games, like you know what I'm saying. So that's a good team to keep an eye on. The Nets. I really feel like Kyrie's on the vengeance. He's focused on basketball now. He's looking like a ninja with the all black. Seems like they always wearing all black. Like he's looking to bury motherfuckers. Like real talk. Like that's for the East. Go to the West. For the Western Conference, I don't know. I think the Warriors is making a run towards the number 1 seed. Yeah, they clicking, and then even the Clippers like 7th seed. You know what I'm saying?
Is Kawhi playing though?
I'm not sure.
No, Kawhi is not playing.
And that's even they ain't got Kawhi Leonard. They better than the Bulls. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. But that speaks a lot to the coaching.
Yeah, Tyronn Lue is a great coach.
Yeah.
And the Grizzlies. I like they City Edition jerseys.
Yeah,
you can probably pop that up, but them cold. They got a lot of.
I bet those new threads sometimes kind of just spark a team a little bit.
Yeah, man. Maybe. Just seeing them
look good,
seeing
feel
them
good,
hanging up in your
good.
locker room, with your shoes. Like, I'm finna get 20.
Yeah, I think the teams that on my end, I agree with a lot of what you said, Austin. I would go more on the Denver Nuggets side because they got they got they guys back. We talked about that in previous episodes. From injuries, they got those guys back. And in Phoenix, I mean, they are. I don't think I can look at just Phoenix as just a regular season team. They were in the finals, just 2 seasons ago. So I expect them to be, in position to make a deep playoff run. Might even see a clash between Phoenix and the Memphis Grizzlies somewhere in the playoffs, which might be must-see TV when you talk about Devin Booker versus Ja Morant. So that would be really nice to see. But, yeah, and the Pelicans, I don't know if they'll be able to stay up there, but they're doing a phenomenal job right now.
I think they have to prove it for me to be a believer.
Hey, shit. As long as Zion is playing, they got a good chance.
They got a good team.
It's a lot of parity in the West. Like you can see the Knights, like the Trailblazers, got 12 wins. But they, the Suns only got 15. So it's like not a big gap. So it's still like if you go on a good hot
every
run,
seeding is close, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah, and this is why it's so very important to lock in those seeds because you think about it, these games are so close in terms of the win-loss column that it's very easy that somebody in the 6th or 7th seed can be in a play-in, but they could be only like 2 games away from if it continues like that.
All right.
So yeah, but then for me, when I look at the Eastern Conference, I probably have to say obviously the Celtics. They were just in the finals last year, and the Bucks. Those are the top 2 teams. And now they got Chris Middleton back. So Chris Middleton just came back in that epic game against the Lakers. And he played pretty decent for his first game back. So it's gonna get real. It's gonna get very real. This is why I get so nervous about the Bulls, because teams are hitting their stride, like I said earlier, and it's just the fact that guys are coming back from injuries, guys are getting implemented back in, and it's just gonna make it even more challenging to have a team that can get to at least the second round, because that's what we all expect. We want to see at least a first round, get to the playoffs, obviously, get out the first round. That'll be a season of growth for us, especially from last season. But I know it's not always that way that you expect, but that's what you would like to see. So
I think when I'm looking at the West, the Suns, the Nuggets, the Grizzlies, and the Warriors are like my top teams. Those are teams definitely to watch out for long term this season. But right now you still gotta watch out for these teams that are like on the cusp though, like the Pelicans, the Trailblazers, the Mavericks. Those teams can, like we seen with the Celtics last year, these teams can go on runs during the season, and those runs can translate into the playoffs, and that momentum can sometimes get you far. But when I'm looking at the East, of course, the top teams, the Celtics, the Bucks, you expect those teams to be up there. Like Austin said, the Cavaliers, I think they're going to be a scary team for any team to play in the playoffs this year, because they just got a lot going for them, and they got pretty much a superstar in Donovan Mitchell. So I think he can lead the way, and of course I think the Hawks. I can't forget about the Hawks. Trae Young, man, we know what he can do. And then they have
Murray.
Yep.
Yeah,
they have Murray.
Murray's killing too.
Yep. So it's no coincidence they're in the 4th seed right now. So yeah, the 76ers right now, they're dealing with a lot of injuries, so that's unfortunate for them. But right now, man, those top 4 teams in each conference are pretty much the teams that's really playing the best. So there's no luck. They're up there.
Yeah. So it's gonna get tough. I expect Miami to be in that top 5. I don't think they're gonna be in a situation of a play-in.
Yeah.
We got a lot more time in the season to go, but we'll see what happens as well. But Cleveland is definitely making they getting a lot of attention that they deserve right now.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's what we got going on for the around the league. In terms of teams that we expect and you should be paying attention to and keep an eye out on. At this point, think it might be time to go over what we always go over.
Let's do it.
And that is this week's certified bucket getters. So we got a pretty good list today from this week. A lot of people was hooping. A lot of people. And then got some repeat names. We got some repeat offenders. So we kick it off. We got Kevin Durant versus Orlando Magic. Phenomenal shooting. We put up 45 points, 7 rebounds on 79% shooting. Damn. It's incredible. He wasn't missing. So 79% shooting. He's actually been having that kind of season. The way he's been shooting the ball, I think he got the highest clip other than Curry. Well, Curry got like the less amount of shot attempts or usage rate for in that 30 ball club in terms of points per game average for the season. But Kevin Durant got the highest percentage in shooting out of all of those 6 candidates, or 7 now, because there's 7 people in the averaging over 30 a game for this season, which ain't been done since I think 1962. So that's crazy. It's crazy.
That's a hell of a.
So then we got, of course, Luka Doncic.
Okay.
Luka goes for 41, 11 rebounds, and 12 assists versus the Warriors. That was a big game, and that went down to the wire, and he performed. So that was obviously
it's a big triple-double.
Huge triple-double, 41-point triple-double. We'll be seeing more of those from him throughout the season. Then we got Jason Tatum, MVP candidate right now. The man went for 49 points and 11 rebounds. I saw a picture where they even put Udonis Haslem on him. It's ridiculous. I'm like, come on, bro. It's like they tried to throw the whole kitchen sink at that man. He was still putting it on him, man. So they got the W in that game, just like Luka got the W, just like Kevin Durant got the W, right? So we in a trending list right now. Then, unfortunately, we got to talk about that damn Devin Booker. Devin Booker put up 51 points on our Bulls in 3 quarters.
That's that Steph Curry treatment right there.
Yep. 51 points in a win at home in Phoenix in 3 quarters.
DeAndre Ayton had 30. I mean, I know I ain't mean to interrupt, but like, damn, they was eating.
They were eating.
No Chris Paul.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. So then we got Devin Booker again. He's been having that kind of week, man. He's been shooting it really good. But Devin Booker again against the Kings, he put up 44 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and a win. So he got 2 40-point games in a win. And in the end, we got Devin Booker again.
Oh my goodness.
So Devin Booker went off again for 41-8 against Houston, but this came in an L.
Wait, so he 3 times on the list?
3 times on the list, man. The man went over 40 in 3 straight games.
So I guess he's the player of the week.
You would think I would say that. But I got that spot reserved for another player. But I got one more player I want to add to this list before I get to that top spot player.
Okay.
Anthony Simmons from the Portland Trail Blazers goes off of 45 points, 33 in the half, by the half against Utah. So he's been playing phenomenal. He's getting the touches. Damian Lillard is not playing right now. CJ, obviously, McCollum been gone, but the fact is, like, him and Jeremy Grant have been hooping. Jeremy Grant was on this list last week, and now Anthony Simmons on it this week, which is crazy. So 45 points by Anthony Simmons, man. Babyface assassin. That's why you playing like. But then at the top spot, I got Anthony Davis.
It's about time.
It's time
Anthony Davis, man. As much as we ridicule that man for always being hurt, he has been playing like he should be playing. But the man put up 44 points and 10 rebounds and a win. Wow. But the reason why I gave him the top spot is it was on the road against an elite championship team against Milwaukee.
No other than.
He was in Milwaukee with 44. So that's very impressive, given the stakes, given the competition level, and given where the Lakers are right now in terms of trying to get some relevancy going on right now. So, so that's the list right now. Top certified bucket getters. I'm sorry, and it's been a great week in terms of like who's been performing at a high level and scoring. So
man, shout out Devin Booker, AD. He's been getting it together, so it's good to see that brother. Get it rolling. You mentioned Luka, right? One time,
of course. Yeah, Luka.
On the list.
Yeah, he's on there. So that's consecutive weeks. Luka's he's been on there like every week, I believe.
Every week he's been on there, and then you got some outliers, some guys that people don't expect to have these out of bodies. Anthony Simmons, Jeremy Grant.
Yep.
So it's just
talented
been
league.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Mavericks can start getting some more wins, so we can really start putting Luka.
Yeah, because that poses a question, right?
Yeah, that does pose a question. What do they need? What do you feel like they need?
I haven't looked at their team though. I'm familiar a little bit, but it's a good question.
Let's see their record.
Yeah,
11-11, 500, the 10th seed.
I think they put a lot of pressure on Luka. They have a lot of talent, but I think personally when I look at their games, it come down to defense. They can stay in any game, but it comes down to defense a little bit for me. And they just got Kemba Walker now. Yeah. So Kemba Walker's on their team. Kemba's not what he used to be. Yeah. But they're trying to get the spacing and shooting and stuff like that. So I like Tim Hardaway Jr. I do like Christian Wood. I thought that was a good pickup in Houston.
To be honest, I'm surprised they 500 because after Luka,
not a big name.
It's not nobody that.
This is kind of like the Dallas Mavericks team, like in the past, like even with Dirk Nowitzki, like they had the big name player, a superstar caliber player, and then just a bunch of like even kill names.
I think they was relying on Christian Wood to really be really step in and develop, but I'm not sure what he on. Spencer Dinwiddie
He gets buckets.
Can get buckets, but
Tim
to be
Hardaway
honest,
Jr.
I'm not really seeing like. Yeah, they need somebody. They need something to, you know what I'm saying? No wonder Luka is dropping 40-something points every week. You know what I'm saying?
Because they pretty much have to.
Nobody.
Yeah, I think it was a stat that I read that said that when he go under 35 or under 25
Automatic
points,
L. Right?
automatic L. They lose every time.
Right.
They lose every game that he go under 25 points. So he has to get 25 or greater every night.
Yeah, their defense is what it stands out to me. Like, these teams are dropping a lot of points against them.
That's what I'm saying.
Even if they're winning, they're still giving up 100 points plus.
Yeah, so they are they always get themselves in a shootout, you know, and they got good shooters.
Yeah,
but that you can't win every game like that.
So you think they just need another superstar?
I think they need a better defensive strategy. But you know what's crazy? I give Luka a lot of credit, but he also part of the reason why they in the situation because he don't play no damn defense. He don't play no defense like that. And, you know, he looks sometimes lost defensively. You know, he makes up for it a hell of a lot on the offensive end, but he don't. You know, he's not a defender. You know, so. But I feel like he do so much. You got to compliment him. You know, on those areas, you got to have some guys that are trying to lock people up.
You gotta have you gotta have a player like Marcus Smart on his team to like kind of compensate for that mismatch on defense. So basically, Marcus Smart would defend the best player on the team, so Luka can kind of rest. But right now, it's like who's gonna like you know what I'm saying? If you go against a guard, who's gonna guard him? And if they got two guards that you know what I'm saying, like it's easy to kind of put Luka in these situations to where he has to defend. And that's where you get the shootouts.
Yeah, because if I'm on a top team and I'm going against Luka, I mean, you can't stop him. What you want to do is tire him out. You're going to try your best to tire him out by putting him in one-on-one situations and trying to get him to force him to play defense.
Yeah.
So that way, like, he don't have as much energy on the offensive end.
Right.
So he could be inefficient on the offensive end. So you put him through a lot of ball screens. You try to put him in one-on-ones, keep him moving. Where it's like, if you got the person that can do that, like the Warriors and stuff, then it could make it where he's less efficient. But the crazy part is, even with the Warriors, he put up 40 on somebody.
Yeah, I feel like with Luka, this is a lot on his shoulders. A lot of responsibility for the team. You know, we're just even pointing out ourselves. They don't really have that, like that wow talent, you know, besides him. So,
yeah, he is the offense.
Yeah, so for me, I feel like they need like even when they had Porzingis, like that was like the right direction they were supposed to go in. Now, if they had like a Anthony Davis, like that team would be scary. You know, like especially Anthony Davis playing like recently. You know, you can just have that 1-2 punch and really disturb any team. You know, and they have shooters around that, like they can go crazy.
Yeah. So basically, what you're saying is that Luka just needs another superstar.
Yeah, but I think a big man though.
Like if he had a Jokic like Denver, that would be crazy.
I mean, but that's like a perfect situation.
That would be too perfect.
Yeah,
they would be like poetry in motion.
Or even like Grant over there in Portland.
Oh, okay.
Or like Jaylen Brown or like a Bradley Beal type player.
Yeah, I think a big man though.
Yeah, because they got good perimeter.
Yeah.
You know, consistency there. Like Spencer Dinwiddie, he gonna get you like at least 20, right? I'm not saying he can give you 45. They don't even do that. They just need. Well, I feel like their big man is still good, but I just think that their defense is just not.
Their defense is real.
Their defense is suspect. Like every night they trying to outscore instead of just trying to like, hey man, we gotta like get some stops.
Yeah,
you know, so that's their issue. But he would really do well with an even better big man, obviously. But Christian Wood is still he's still probably developing, coming to his own. Yeah.
I know he was real good in Houston, but you have to pull up his numbers. I'm not even sure how Christian Wood is playing, but yeah.
Yeah, Christian Wood, you know, has been playing good. I mean, he had some games against Boston that I saw where he wasn't playing too well. But I feel like he's still having a decent season right now. I'm gonna pull up his numbers real quick. Let's take a look and see where he's at right now. Yeah, so for the regular season, he's averaging 16-7. Probably need to like step it up a little bit more in order to help Luka out. He should be getting about 20 and 12.
Right, 20, 12.
You know,
like
7 rebounds.
blocks,
7 rebounds is not good enough for like his height. He need a little bit more rebounds. You know, for those kind of, for what he's capable of doing. His last game against the Warriors, he put up 4 points and 8 rebounds, and then they still won. And that's the same game Spencer Dinwiddie got ejected out of.
I mean, he put up against the Pistons 25 and 8.
Yeah. So he struggles with a little bit of inconsistency.
Yeah. You go from 4 points to 25 points.
That's that Zach LaVine flow right there. 4 points against the Warriors.
Man. Yeah, so that's what's going on. That's what's going on right now. I mean, we talk about the Dallas Mavericks, what they got to do to kind of compliment Luka. They'll definitely be in the playoffs. I mean, Luka won't allow it. And I sound like I'm like this huge Luka fan, but I mean, he's playing too well to not be in the playoffs. So he'll get in the playoffs. It's just a matter of like, he's probably going to get out in the first round, maybe second, you know, without having to help.
Man, we'll see.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
So the league has a lot of parity at this point. There's a lot of teams that you expect to play at a high level at this point, i.e. the Phoenix Suns and i.e. the Boston Celtics on both conferences, right? Are these the best teams out there right now? Do you think that's like they're leading the conferences right now, but do you all feel like, you know, this is like they're just on a hot streak? Like, how do you feel about the teams currently right now leading the conferences?
I think the records tell the truth. I think right now these two teams are the best teams in the NBA right now. Could it change? Very possibly. Those 1 and 2 spots could change. Just depending on the flow of the season and how those teams are doing. But if the playoffs started right now, I feel like the Suns and the Boston Celtics are the teams to beat in each conference.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like the records are what they are, but it's hard for me to just like dethrone a team without, you know, knowing what's to come next, right? So I'll still say the team to beat is the Warriors. The only reason why I said it is because they, you know, for that conference is that Phoenix deserves to be up there. They clearly are the number 1 seed right now currently. I really believe that Boston is the team to beat. For the East right now, even though Milwaukee gonna have a lot to say about it. But you know, I just feel like Boston is just clicking on all cylinders right now. They playing amazing basketball right now. Milwaukee has dropped a couple games at home to the Lakers and of course our Bulls in the last couple of weeks. So they're looking a little bit, you know, like they're trying to work some stuff out. I mean, it's take a lot to beat Milwaukee, but I feel like Boston is just looking really, really good at this particular time. So that would be my point of view on it, but I don't really like have an issue with anybody thinking that Phoenix is the team to beat because they are leading the conference and they were just like not too long ago in the finals.
But you don't really want to say they're the best team in the West right now.
I wouldn't say that. The reason why I wouldn't say that is because I mean like Devin Booker is playing lights out right now. He will continue to play like that, but I feel like, you know, what you got to beat in order to beat a man, you got to beat the man. And I feel like, you know, in that conference, I feel like the Warriors are pushing, you know, and they are the defending champions.
So if those two teams, the Warriors and the Suns, are in the playoff series right now, you think the Warriors will beat the Suns?
Yes. I think the Warriors will beat the Suns because I just feel like the Warriors have proven it too many times. And I just feel like I have questions about DeAndre Ayton and his focus level. Like, you know, sometimes he look like he don't want to be there. Like I've heard that he don't want to play for Phoenix no more, and he had an issue with contracts. And you see what I'm saying? It just, I mean, these are normal things that all athletes that you hear go through. You know, it's not like some out of the page stuff. But given how he played against Dallas last year in the playoffs, him and CP3 and Devin Booker, and how embarrassing that was.
Yeah,
I just feel like they got something to prove. That's why they playing so well. Right now, they playing like, hey, like we know we played piss poor last season at the end of the season, you know, when we got eliminated, but we're trying to make up for that this season. So that's how they're coming out. But I don't know if they're making up for it is good enough to dethrone a defending champion. That's how I look at it.
Fair.
I feel like unless, somebody's completely underperforming for the Warriors that normally performs well. So that's how I look at it.
I agree, man. Low key, I think the Suns are really good. They're a really good team, and right now, I think the Warriors are, like I said previously, they finding their stride. But the Suns, like with DeAndre Ayton, I feel like DeAndre Ayton isn't able to play to his highest potential with the Suns. He's a good fit. You know what I'm saying? He plays his role. But I honestly feel like DeAndre Ayton can be putting up like 25 and 12. You know what I'm saying? He can be on that Anthony Davis type level if a team's play through him. But they don't. You know what I'm saying? They got Chris Paul, they got Devin Booker, and then it's DeAndre Ayton type shit. So that's for the West. But I do feel like the Warriors is the best team until beaten. Yeah. And then the East, I think the Celtics is the best team in the East. I think the Bucks are close. It's between them two, the Celtics and the Bucks, and it's really a race between Giannis and Jason Tatum. So whoever, you know what I'm saying, if they was to like link up in the Eastern Conference Finals, it's whoever between them who plays the best.
Yeah, I think the Celtics are the best team in the East right now, but the Bucks definitely could potentially be the best team at the end of the regular season.
I think Giannis is the best player in the league, but the Celtics just has a better team.
That's a good point to make. Giannis is the most dominant player in the league. The most dominant player. Even when they lost to the Lakers, he put up 40. See, I didn't even mention that. The certified bucket getters, he had 40 in that game himself. But but in general though, I mean, Giannis is it takes a lot to beat him. Your best player has to be on a level to beat him.
And with Chris Middleton back, like he got his sharpshooter back. So all you gotta do is Giannis drive, Giannis kick, and then set up Middleton for that swing.
And Middleton also is as a shot creator.
He can put the ball on the floor, post up,
he definitely can,
and hit that mid range fadeaway.
Get 30 on you.
That was lethal off that.
Chris Middleton is in that pantheon of
Ray Allen type.
No, you know what? I ain't gonna give him the Ray Allen. I get what you mean though.
I said like Reggie Miller
for the Milwaukee franchise, right? Chris Middleton is like the new Glenn Big Dog Robinson. Remember Glenn Big Dog?
Yep.
Glenn was averaging 30 in college. But then when he got to the pros, his career averaged like 20 a game. But he was a very good complementary piece to Ray Allen. Like Ray would get you 30, he'd get you 25. Like Sam Cassell and all those boys back in the day. Man, so it's like they was nasty.
Hoopers.
Yeah, I think the Celtics and the Bucks are gonna be like two best teams. Like one of those teams are probably gonna potentially go all the way.
But low key, I think with the Nets having 13-11, they can easily go off with 6-7 game win streak. You know what I'm saying?
I just feel like the only thing with the Nets is just not as guaranteed with those other two teams. Because the Nets is like it can be hit or miss. It can go up, it can go bad.
I hear you, but the way I've been watching like Kyrie and Kevin Durant playing, like they look laser focused.
Yeah, even with Ben Simmons too. Business. Even Ben Simmons is like he's been putting up like 20 points a game, getting rebounds, hitting some free throws, like getting comfortable. So I mean I could see it, but for me it's just like just do it.
At this point.
Yeah, just do it. But
it's gonna be must see TV to see any of these three teams in the playoffs against each other. Especially how much Kyrie don't like Boston and Boston don't like Kyrie. I would love to see another rematch of that.
Right.
Just to see how that turned out. But the Nets in general too, they got Seth Curry back, Patty Mills. I mean, they got some shooters, bro. They got some guys that you gotta stay like attached to. And if you're not, they'll make you pay for it. So they got that going on, and so we'll see how it all turns out. The Eastern Conference is no joke. We didn't even talk about Philadelphia 76ers. Not that we think that they're gonna win a championship.
Yeah, but there's injuries right now.
Yeah,
a bunch of injuries. A lot of their main pieces. So we're not really gonna be talking about them that much until they get healthy. So hopefully they can just kind of stay where they're at. and then later in the season kind of worked their way up. I mean, for them, not for us.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that. So now,
listen, we can just I'll take it from here. So real quick, man, I'm actually surprised you guys ain't bring this up, but I want to talk about the whole Jerry Jones photo and how LeBron James, like, I'm not sure if you guys saw like his press conference.
I got one question for you guys before you guys leave. I was thinking when I was on my way over here, I was wondering why I haven't gotten a question from you guys about the Jerry Jones photo. But when the Kyrie thing was going on, you guys were quick to ask us questions about that.
Okay.
Hold on. And I don't even want you guys to say nothing. When I watched Kyrie talk and he says, I know who I am, but I want to keep the same energy when we're talking about my people and the things that we've been through. And that Jerry Jones photo is one of those moments that our people, black people, have been through in America. And I feel like as a black man, as a black athlete, as someone with power and a platform, when we do something wrong or something that people don't agree with, it's on every single tabloid, every single news coverage. It's on the bottom ticker. It's asked about every single day. But it seems like to me that the whole Jerry Jones situation photo, and I know it was years and years ago and we all make mistakes, I get it. But it seemed like it's just been buried under like, oh, it happened. Okay, we just move on. And I was just kind of disappointed that I haven't received that question from you guys. Appreciate it.
How he responded, and just he basically compared, like, you know, him being asked all day every day about the Kyrie situation and his comments, but when it came to the Jerry Jones photo, like, the media and the reporters never asked him like his thoughts on that photo.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this goes back to a bigger issue we talked about last week, just about, like, you know, the media and how everything is a quote unquote agenda.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you guys feel about, like, LeBron James kind of shedding light on, you know, the media sweeping that stuff under the rug when it's a certain person?
So what did LeBron say?
LeBron, he basically said, you know, he finds it funny, or he's disappointed that, you know, when the Kyrie situation was going on, the media was asking him all types of questions on how he felt about what Kyrie said and what Kyrie did about the movie that he posted. But when it came to Jerry Jones and, you know, the photo that surfaced like 60 years ago, almost, when he was 14 years old at a rally where
segregation.
where you know, it was some, I say, like, you know, darker skinned people who are trying to integrate into a school. You know, it was basically like a mob, you know, of pale faced people. So I just want to, like, get y'all take, like, LeBron really shed light on that, and, you know, we can start.
So basically, LeBron was saying that it's interesting how the media is asking me all these questions about the Kyrie controversy, but you're not asking me questions about this controversy.
Right.
Actually, that's pretty surprising, because for me, I look at LeBron as a puppet. You know, he doesn't really take a stand on, like, real issues going in the community. So that's surprising that he did. It kind of reminds me of other things I've been hearing going on with that this week with Stephen A. Smith. But Stephen A. Smith is on the other end, because he criticized the Kyrie so heavily for what he was doing and what he was involved in, but he's not criticizing Jerry Jones
at all.
And he actually said, "I'm sorry that you have to go through this." It was something like that. So I mean, we look at it as coonery or whatever you want to call it. But for LeBron, I mean, good job, I guess. But
I hear you, but I don't look at LeBron as a puppet. I look at LeBron as someone who it's kind of like the Kwame Brown. Go along, get along, right? He's not gonna rock the boat with his personal beliefs. I personally think LeBron doesn't really. He understands Kyrie, but he doesn't fully understand the magnitude of what Kyrie is, going through or what he stands for. So I feel like LeBron just doesn't, I don't know. He just doesn't like say things that's going to offend others. Right. But he probably agrees with a lot of what Kyrie says and stands for as far as ownership, his people, and
but that
it also could be a thing that I think, and I could be wrong, that he wants to be the one that leads. Like, I'll give you an example of that. Like, I remember years ago, when I think it was Alton Sterling, stuff like that, or the I Can't Breathe shirts. Derrick Rose was wearing no shirts. Mm-hmm. Derrick Rose started the whole campaign with wearing no shirts. He was the first NBA player that was doing that. Didn't get no type of adulation, no type of recognition, nothing like that at all. Exactly. Not that Derrick Rose would do it for those reasons. Right? He's not doing it for a like, or he's doing it because it's real, right? Mm-hmm. Don't get no media attention. All of a sudden, LeBron does it. LeBron and Wade do it. Oh my God. We got it like this. Like, he's always standing up. And I'm like, he got it from him. But my thing is the same thing with the Kyrie thing. Kyrie is so he's so not wavered by anything. He just like, this is who I am. Like, and I'm trying to figure out other things that's going on off the court that are bigger than basketball, right? Mm. But it just seems like when he ain't the first to do it, it just seems like he got reservations on it. Then he'll flip it and say like, hey guys, I'm still that leader. And it's like, I feel like it was a little bit of backtrack, like too little, too late, because when Kyrie was going through what he was going through, and I mean, it's not like it was like so long ago. I mean, this stuff just happened weeks ago, but it was like his tune was slightly different. Mm-hmm. But then it's like, okay, now I got something I can use, and I'm gonna jump on it. And ESPN uses that and say like, man, he's such a leader. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, he ain't a leader, bro. Like he just following the wave now because somebody else was initially saying it now. So that's
I'll say like this, and this is a different perspective. I see what you're saying, but I do think LeBron is the leader. Mm-hmm. He is.
Yep.
And when I use your example with Derrick Rose, like I think as a leader, like when Derrick Rose did it and it didn't get any pub, that's when he steps in and says, all right, we're going to back up D Rose and we're going to wear these same shirts. And now it's going to bring attention to it. So I feel like that in itself is a leadership type role. Like, okay, yeah, like D Rose is a leader in himself. Like D Rose is a leader, but when it comes to LeBron, he's like, all right, I'm going to do this just to support D Rose and the movement.
But my thing is how come he never vocally says it that way? Like he says it like almost like he doesn't say I created it, but he doesn't make the distinction and say, look, man, like Derrick Rose really is the one that started this. Like he won't put it out there and say it that way. So he doesn't want to give people their proper credit. Like unless it's coming from him. Like, and that's how I look at it. Like he was really cognizant of, but I don't think how he looks to the media though.
I hear you, but I don't think he owes us that. I think he owes D Rose that. Like, if he was to go straight to D Rose, like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do. I support you. Like, that's enough. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think I look at it a different way than you guys a little bit. I feel like LeBron James is the business. So LeBron James and the NBA are in business together.
Of course.
So they're the ones pushing this stuff out. Like, we're gonna have LeBron put these shirts on and we're gonna have media cover this because LeBron is the biggest figure in the NBA. And that's why I say LeBron, for me, is a puppet, because he's like the voice, the NBA's voice for the black community. You know what I mean? So they're using him to get to us.
Right.
So with different things. And that goes on with a lot of different things. I mean, even the brands that he got sponsorship for.
Right.
I feel like you reach a certain amount of money, you start recognizing things for what they are. You know what are good and what's bad. So you're promoting a brand that could potentially cause you cancer. I'm pretty sure you know that. You know what I mean? But you're still putting it out there. And I mean, for money ultimately, and to push these agendas. And that's how I look at somebody as like a sellout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Excellent way to put it.
But that's
I hear you. I do think LeBron is in partnership with the NBA, of course, and I think he's very much a political. He's on more so on the political side, whereas he doesn't want to choose sides. He's a politician in a sense where he's a businessman, he's an athlete. He represents the Players Association heavily with Chris Paul and Jaylen Brown. You know what I'm saying? So he's not going to choose sides, but he is going to stand up when it's necessary.
And that's choosing a side in itself. That's choosing yourself, and you're choosing money over things that might be right or might be said. So not necessarily choosing a side might be actually choosing a side. You just putting yourself.
Staying on the fences.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of like even what Kanye was referring to, like who's gonna stand up for me and who's gonna say something, and people weren't saying anything because they don't want to jeopardize what they got going on.
Right. So this is a 2-part thing, right? I want to kind of talk about Nike and Phil Knight and the whole Kyrie situation with his shoe deal. We all know Nike has Giannis. They got LeBron James. They got
Paul George. Too.
Paul George.
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant. Right. They got a lot of heavy hitters that's established in the NBA. And my question is why aren't any of these, I'll just quote unquote black athletes have the mindset of Phil Knight? You know what I'm saying? Phil Knight started from nothing and built Nike into this multi-billion-dollar company. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like LeVar Ball, like when he wanted to build, BBB with his shoe line, and it's like, who's gonna be the pioneer for people that look like us and build these brands that, you know what I'm saying, build a brand that it's quality, it's produced in a way that is cheap, where everybody can afford. You know what I'm saying? It's influential. Like, why is it always like these athletes have to fall in line with these already established Nikes, Adidas, and Puma? Like, how come? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I look at somebody like Shaquille O'Neal. He was able to find his own lane with that.
Right.
So shout out to Shaq for that.
Yeah.
I mean, he did it and he's still doing it. So that's an example. It's possible. I mean, but it's just it's difficult for a lot of different.
Stephon Marbury is another one too. We have $15 sneakers.
But
but it's always like when they do that, they label him as crazy too. Stephon Marbury, when he shaved his head and he did all this crazy stuff with his haircut, like they label him as crazy for going to China and play. And people, if you wear Starboards, you got clown damn near for wearing Starboards. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but we're living in like tricky times where it's like things are pushed for reasons, and some people recognize that, I feel like. But it also is gonna have to fall back on the community. Don't be ashamed of wearing some Starberries, or even like promote him because he is someone like us. So it starts with us, and it also has to like cancel out the outside noise, because the media might try to clown him, but it don't mean that we have to clown him.
Right. That's a valid point. It's just, to me, I feel like we just slaves to brands.
Yep.
And I think the problem with that is that you can like something, but that don't mean that it's got to be all based on that. And a lot of the people that's leading the way right now, they was kids like we were, and they just dreamed of having a Nike deal. Yeah. Nike contract. Mm-hmm. So they thinking about always being on that side of the fence instead of saying, let me just own my own stuff.
And then
that ownership piece is not taught in our community, at young stages.
that's
Like from a mass standpoint. I'm not saying from a household, because you got some people that are really parents was telling them that stuff. But from a mass standpoint, we just always in the consumer, like, hey, we want to be part of what's already been established.
So we feel like we're playing catch up in a way. Like, oh, we gotta, there's a certain type of people up here, and we're down here. Let's try to get to where they are. So I feel like now is this what's happening is we're somewhat being used to being on the same level with everybody else. So now that forward thinking can happen. So maybe in the next couple of years we can get some of these ideas.
Yeah, it's gonna take like the next generation after.
Yeah,
because the people that we talking about, they all in their late 30s,
but that's
mid 30s, so that's not gonna happen with them. I feel like the next generation are seeing that and be like, man, they just ended his relationship or contract like that. This is gonna go in the history books.
Yeah.
Like in terms of sports, that is. We're like, oh, they just end his contract. Well, I don't want to be in that situation. I'm not gonna want to do that because we've seen it with music. We've seen it with music. Like some artists, like, look, I'm not signing that contract because I don't know. Like I saw what y'all did with previous other artists.
Exactly.
So that happens.
Yeah. So it's like with me, it's like I understand. It's not about money. These athletes have enough money to create their own brands. I mean, it might be about economics and business. Like they're just not probably savvy enough to go and be a trailblazer in that right. But it's like at some point, man, I'm waiting and I'm hopeful for like someone to actually push the envelope and create a brand that's, has an impact on the culture and is influential and is actually quality. You know what I'm saying? Like it actually has a namesake and it's just not following other patterns and what I'm saying? Not everything has to have a Nike swoosh or 3 stripes.
Yep. Yeah. I agree with that.
So yeah, that's any other thoughts from y'all?
No. I think this is a great take that you had and quick question that you brought up. And it's just, sports have become pop political. I feel like they always have been. I feel like it's just more on the surface now. Like it's just more obvious to see that. So they kind of coincide together. I mean, so yeah, I think these are relevant conversations to have. But let's circle back to the next couple games for the Chicago Bulls. Like we do at the end of every episode, we talk about what our expectations are. Most of us, I think all of us have been wrong, except for me. This one time I got it right with the 1 and 2 of last week, right? So they play the Kings as of today, right? But when we look at the next 3 games after that, right? So they've got the Wizards.
Mm-hmm.
After the Wizards, they got the Hawks, right?
No, they got the Wizards. Then they have the Mavericks at home. So they got 2 games at home against the Wizards and the Mavericks. And then they go on the road and play the Hawks. So, by the time we meet up again, what I'm saying, they have been, got those 3 games under the tuck.
Right. So between the Wizards, the Mavericks, and the Hawks, what would you expect their record to be? We taking the Kings out of it. They better beat the Kings, like you said. They better beat the Kings. I mean, they are playing the Kings in Sacramento. Sacramento currently right now is a playoff team right now. They playing that well right now. They ain't been to the playoffs since 2005. So it's been a long time for the Kings. But looking at the Wizards, looking at the Mavs, and then look at those Hawks, those 3 games, what would you project the records to be?
Man, I'll go first. I say they had a tough loss against the Wizards. I think Bradley Beal hit like a game winner late. So hopefully they redeem themselves at home against the Wizards.
Mm-hmm.
The Mavericks, I mean, come on now. They ain't got no defense. I know Luka is hot and he's playing well, but they got to just bust their ass. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. You at home again. Two games at home from Wednesday to Saturday. That y'all at the crib type shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then the Hawks, that's a tough one. That'll be a tough game. So I'm just gonna say 2-1. And they gonna beat the Kings, so 3-1. Yeah.
3-1. I hope they are.
No
I think including the Kings game, I see them going 2-2.
I mean, that's fair.
I see them going 2-2.
I see
them. I don't know what games. I'm gonna break it down. What I think though, I would say they beat the Kings, they beat the Wizards, they lose to the Mavs and lose to the Hawks.
That sounds about right.
I really hope that they beat the Mavs at home because they got that thing about them that they raise their game up when they play in teams that have a marquee guy or a marquee team. You know what I mean? And the Mavs aren't like the best team in the West. They 500 basketball right now. That's what they playing. But they got a guy that is a huge difference maker. So we'll see how they come out with that. They're probably gonna start Caruso in that game like they did in the Golden State Warriors game, and see where it takes them. But I still see them finding a way to lose that game. And the Hawks, I don't think they're gonna beat the Hawks. I don't think they're gonna beat the Hawks. They're gonna lose.
Okay.
Yeah, but I hope I'm wrong. But 2-2 is how I look at it. What do you think, Sean?
I'm rolling the dice. I say 4-0.
4-0.
And then I feel like we're gonna pick it up right now. And in the next 10 games, we're probably gonna go 8-2. So, yeah.
I would love that,
yeah.
Man.
This is all about that energy. So yeah, I'm gonna put that out there.
Okay, 4-0, 4-0. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
NSA. Yeah, y'all heard it here.
Hopefully they hear this.
Y'all heard it here.
Okay. Now.
But yeah, that's about it though.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right.
Good episode,
So,
y'all.
You got 3-1.
No, I said, yeah, 3-1.
3-1, 2-2, 4-0. All right, so we gonna see what happens. I hope you're right, man. I hope y'all both right.
I mean, come on, I'm tired of them losing. Like
I am too.
Like goddamn.
But it's like, I'm tired of them losing too, man. It's just it's getting out of hand. It's out of control. But guys, it's been a great episode.
Yes, sir.
As y'all already know, like, share, and subscribe to content. We are on TikTok now. We're on all social media platforms. Y'all already know that. Okay. But NSA Bulls Podcast, it's been a great episode. And we will see y'all next week.
Peace.
We out.